The YSRCP government in power right now, in power during the whole Adani Gate allegation that had come in, now has given out a statement as well. Remember that while it is presently TDP, but it was YSRCP, Jagan Mohan Reddy, who's the chief minister, when the reference to the bribe charges have come in to government officials. Now, what the YSRCP now says is that they never had a direct link to the Adani group. They're claiming that the solar deal that was signed with the government body is incorrect allegation that it was Jagan Mohan Reddy's government that received any sort of bribe. Why the state government here of Andhra Pradesh has been dragged in, and I'll bring Apurva Jayachandran for the latest on that, is because the allegation says that government officials were given or at least promised massive amounts of bribe. And I'm talking about millions of dollars here. And that was with regard to a solar power project, to which not only Adani Group has said these are baseless charges, but YSRCP also has come out with the same statement. But remember, now it's up to the TDP also, the incumbent government, about how they could take this ahead. So we've put out the quote. They've said basically when the state government says no direct deal with the Adani Group, it means that it was with the government of the centre and with other government bodies, not necessarily directly with the business group. That's the big news. Remember, this is not just about a domestic political showdown. It's an international concern as well. And because USA has charged, and this is specifically to Gautam Adani, I want to go across to Apurva Jayachandran. Apurva, while Kenya has given out a decision, they've cancelled one of the big deals. USA has charged Gautam Adani with this. How has Andhra Pradesh government and YSRCP got into it? Apurva, if you can hear me. What has YSRCP said? Because among all the states, interestingly, and this is what the BJP has jumped in, that these were opposition rule states who benefited from the Adani bribe gate allegation, if at all there is. But expectedly, because Gautam Adani, remember, had been a mention throughout Maharashtra election season, now has referred to a bigger political showdown. The Congress has jumped on this, led by leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi, and have said that this is what they had been doing all this while, and that was with regard to how Gautam Adani has a certain protection. So they've even targeted Prime Minister Modi on this. The Congress has also now demanded the JPC probe, and have also said that the appointment of a new SEBI chief is now significant. But the opposition parties are also jumping on this because at this point, remember, BJP is also not far behind. BJP is saying this is not about BJP or the government at the centre. This is in fact about DMK, Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, the ruling party in Tamil Nadu, and YSRCP, former government in Andhra Pradesh. They had dealings with the Adani Group. That's what the bribe gate is really about. So there's clearly a lot of reactions and counter-reactions coming in on the industrialists' allegations, and industrialists here saying that all of this is baseless charges by the USA. Let's listen in to what we've had in the past few hours about what our leaders are saying.
வணிக ரீதியான தொடர்புகள் எந்த வகையிலும் தமிழ்நாடு மின்சார வாரியத்திற்கும் அதானி நிறுவனத்திற்கும் இல்லை. தமிழ்நாடு மின்சார வாரியத்தை பொறுத்தவரை தமிழ்நாட்டினுடைய முதலமைச்சர் மாண்புமிகு தளபதி அவர்கள் ஆட்சி பொறுப்பேற்று தமிழ்நாட்டினுடைய மின் தேவையை கருத்திலே கொண்டு மத்திய மின்சாரத்துறையோடு இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த அமைப்புகளோடு 1500 மெகாவாட் मिनसारम कोलमुदल செய்வதற்கான ஒப்பந்தங்கள் செய்யப்பட்டன.
राहुल गांधी के पूरे स्टेटमेंट पर मैं आपका एक जवाब चाहूंगी कि राहुल गांधी ने जेपीसी की डिमांड कर दी है और उन्होंने कहा है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी अडानी के ग्रुप को प्रोटेक्ट करते आए हैं. उस पर आपका जवाब चाहिए.
ये बिल्कुल सही बात है. राहुल गांधी जी जो वक्तव्य दिए हैं कि अडानी को मोदी जी प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, ये बिल्कुल सही बात है. और ये बात भी, इस बात का भी मैं समर्थन करता हूं कि पूरे प्रकरण की जेपीसी के द्वारा जांच होनी चाहिए. इस बात की समर्थन करता हूं मैं. छत्तीसगढ़ में जितने भी अडानी को खदान मिले हैं, पावर प्लांट मिले हैं, वो सब भारतीय जनता पार्टी के शासनकाल में या तो राज्य सरकार में रमन सिंह जब मुख्यमंत्री थे तब मिला, या केंद्र सरकार में 2015 में 14 के बाद जब प्रधानमंत्री बने मोदी तब उसके बाद मिला है.
वो उस कंपनी का जांच कर रहे थे जिसमें अमेरिका के किसी बिजनेस पर्सन का या कंपनी का हिस्सेदारी थी, संभवतः अदानी जी की भी उसमें हिस्सेदारी थी, और उस कंपनी के क्रियाकलापों में ये पाया गया कि यहाँ जो पीपी ए होता, पावर परचेस एग्रीमेंट के दर होते हैं, उसमें गड़बड़ियां हैं, और उसमें कुछ राज्यों का उन्होंने उल्लेख किया है। तो उनका ये कथन है कि मैं एक तरह से वो चुनौती टाइप दे रहे हैं राहुल जी की, देखिए हम देखते हैं कि आप करते हैं कि नहीं अरेस्ट।
इंशाल्लाह हमें मालूम है कि बहुत चीज़ों की इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता, उसमें ये सब निकल आएगा। जल शक्ति का मामला भी था, आपको याद होगा, जबकि एक अफसर ने 3000 करोड़ के मामले में कहा था उसमें घपला हुआ है। आहिस्ता आहिस्ता ये सब निकलेगा।
कितने सारे कांग्रेसी राज्य में जो कांग्रेस जो भी जहाँ पे बचे हुए हैं अभी, इन्हीं अडानियों के साथ मऊ साइन हुआ है, मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग साइन हुआ है। वहाँ पे डेवलपमेंट के लिए अदानी पावर के द्वारा, कहीं पे अदानी पोर्ट के द्वारा, इवन केरल में भी मार्क्सिस्ट सरकार जो है उन्होंने कुछ दिन पहले अदानी ग्रुप के साथ अपना पोर्ट डेवलपमेंट के लिए उन्होंने खुद मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग किया है। तो इसलिए अमेरिका में क्या हुआ उसके कारण अपने देश में हम गड़बड़ करें, जो लीगल प्रोसीड्यूर है वो फॉलो होगा।
Adani is considered to be very close to Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister. This government headed by Mr. Modi is protecting and promoting the interests of the corporate houses, particularly Adani. And now time has come. There must be a thorough probe, and JPC can be one mechanism which can go into all the issues, how Adani has grown to such an extent.
Remember, while this may be a long investigation, but there are already implications coming in for the Adani Group. What could these charges really mean? And that will be the highlight here. Let me take you through what some of the possible implications are. He will not be able to raise funds. That's one of the top, and often of a global stature when you're an industrialist, clearly with a lot of deals and investors, cannot raise funds in the USA as the charges presently have come from the United States of America, from the New York court. Then what about future funding? Now, that also could be impacted, at least when we are talking about overseas, in other countries, because of the legal hassles presently that are on. What about primarily the Western nations? Remember, they all abide by this SEC structure, and that is why that also could be impacted in how Gautam Adani may want investments or deals to be done, or the money to be raised in at least the Western nations, developed countries. What about key global banks? Now, remember, the industrialists also take heavy loans from banks, and not just India, but across the world. And that perhaps may face a certain setback with key global banks that may not be very keen right now to be helping the Adani Group. Now, the plan to invest, remember, $10 billion in the USA, that was earlier, which he also recently announced when he was congratulating Donald Trump. Could that now be put on hold because of what suddenly happened? And this is while the government change is happening in the United States of America. The big focus right now for the Adani Group had been the renewable energy, the green energy. That appears to have been halted because we are told Adani Group itself, remember, yesterday gave out that statement that the 600 million US bond sale, $600 million US bond sale has been abandoned for now. Now, this, as a consequence, is very important. This will reflect on the market for the Adani Group, and it's already suffering. There was blood on the Dalal Street, 20% down for the Adani shares. About 2.5 lakh crores were lost in the markets. Now, Gautam Adani and officials also will have to be appearing in the court, so there may be back and forth visits, and one doesn't really know till when this will stretch. So there's definitely a big legal hassle that they are facing right now. Amid all of this, remember, USA has also responded to the allegations. This is what the White House has said on this, and they hope that there's going to be a full-on communication between India and the USA over this. While the Adani Group issued a statement rejecting all allegations, here's what USA has said, because remember, it's in the backdrop of Kenya cancelling a deal.
So obviously we're aware of these allegations, and I would have to refer you to the SEC and DOJ about the specifics of those allegations against the Adani Group. What I will say is on the U.S. and India relationship, we believe that it's extremely stands on an extremely strong foundation, anchored in ties between our people and cooperation across a full range of global issues. And so what we believe and we're confident about is that we'll continue to navigate this issue as we have with other issues that may have come up, as you just stated. And so the specifics of this is something that SEC and DOJ can speak to directly. But again, we believe that we are. This relationship between India and the U.S. has been built on a strong foundation.
The information that has been provided to us by partner nations. I have directed agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for JKI expansion public-private partnership transaction, as well as the recently concluded Ketrago transmission in public partnership and immediately commence the process of onboarding alternative partners, because these are important projects.
So without a doubt, remember, these charges coming in and from United States of America's court are definitely huge and of international consequences. Gautam Adani, remember, for India presently is one of the biggest industrialists and across sectors have a lot of work, infrastructure projects to ports and more that's going on. But even with international deals, Kenya scrapping a deal right now. Even the Adani group had said their green energy project with the USA, that's not really working and happening right now. So here's a report of what precisely does this kind of a charge against Gautam Adani mean? Not just for India, not just for political showdown, but international level.
Adani Group shares fell up to 20% as trading opened Thursday on news of Gautam Adani and 7 others being indicted in the United States on charges of a $265 million bribery scheme and fraud. Among those charged is Gautam Adani's nephew, Sagar Adani. According to authorities, Adani and the other defendants agreed to bribe Indian government officials to secure lucrative solar energy supply contracts. These contracts would have, according to authorities, yielded $2 billion of profit over 20 years, along with the development of India's largest solar power plant project. Prosecutors also said the Adanis and another executive at Adani Green Energy, former CEO Vineet Jain, raised more than $3 billion in loans and bonds by hiding their corruption from lenders and investors. The 54-page indictment alleges that Gautam Adani personally met with Indian officials to advance the illegal deal and secure the contracts. Prosecutors alleged that Adani and 2 executives conspired to misrepresent the company's anti-bribery and corruption practices to US investors and financial institutions to obtain financing. Adani and 7 other business executives, including 2 who worked at Adani Green Energy, the renewable energy firm, were charged in the scheme. Gautam Adani and Sagar Adani were charged with securities fraud and 2 counts of fraud conspiracies. The Securities and Exchange Commission also brought civil charges against the 2 defendants. According to the indictment, some conspirators referred privately to Gautam Adani with the code names Numero Uno and the Big Man, while Sagar Adani allegedly used a cell phone to track specifics about the bribes. According to court records, arrest warrants have been issued for Gautam and Sagar Adani, which will be handed to foreign law enforcement agencies. In a first statement by an Adani Group company, Adani Green Energy scrapped a $600 million bond issue. The statement said the United States Department of Justice and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission have issued a criminal indictment and brought a civil complaint respectively in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York against board members Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani and Vineet Jain. Because of this, its subsidiaries have decided not to proceed with the proposed dollar-denominated bond offerings. The charges come 22 months after Hindenburg Research's allegations against the group shaved off $150 billion from its market cap. Meanwhile, GQG Partners, led by Rajiv Jain, which invested heavily in the Adani Group after the Hindenburg crash, saw its stock tumble 20%. It holds 3.4% in Adani Enterprise, 4.1% in Adani Ports, 2.5% in Adani Transmission, and 3.5% in Adani Green Energy. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.